it was just another day, and I was expecting him to walk through the door, and I just noticed he was a little bit late, and then he sent me a text message. Yeah. It just wasn't right that we were left alone, because it just wasn't me, it was my boys too, and I hate that it kills me that they suffered. So something like this, a service that helps people that are bereaved by suicide, is so important, because yeah, it's just not right that we're left alone, left in this huge traumatic grief. Like, I knew that he had suffered a little bit from anxiety, but particularly in his workplace, he was so confident, and he came across very confident and quite sure of himself, that no one would have realised that anything more than that was going on. So yeah, I think something had happened that day that just really bothered him. When he died, there was no relevant support available at that time. I searched and searched for someone that would be able to help me and my boys, and I couldn't find anything. Coming home and knowing you're alone, like even like the first time you have to go to the supermarket by yourself, or filling up petrol, or doing all those little things, it just, you really feel just so unbelievably alone and abandoned. So I just thought in that space that my GP was probably one of the first people that I needed to talk to in that space. So I met up with her just a couple of days after he died. At that point in time, I was having some pretty vivid, horrible nightmares. So I went and spoke to her, and she said that I needed to go on an antidepressant, and that I could get a mental health plan to go to counselling. I was referred to a specialised grief counsellor in Wollongong. 2 sessions in, I had to take my 7-month-old baby with me, because that was my situation at the time. I didn't have anyone to look after him. And she said to me, he can't come to the sessions because he's going to feel your emotions. And I was like, well, isn't he feeling them at home? I'm also getting emotional at home. Like, I've just lost my husband. Do you think I'm going home and being fine? So I went back to my GP. She recommended somebody else. I went to her. She was beautiful, like a really lovely, lovely, lovely counsellor, like beautiful soul. But she put a heart rate monitor on me. Every time my heart rate ran above a certain beat, I had to stop talking, which is any time I talked about Kurt. So I literally couldn't talk about it at all. I was always cut off. So yeah, I stopped going to her, and then I just stopped looking. I just gave up. So for the last 3 years, I've been working towards working as a lived experience worker in suicide bereavement, standby support, rolled out its services nationally, and I was just right time, right place, situation. This is like my dream job. This is what I've been working towards. It took, I suppose 4 years isn't a long gap, but it did take a lot of work, internal work for me to be at this place right now. I am in a really good place, and my kids are in a really good place, but it took a lot, and we took a huge beating to get there. So then I linked in with people who live a lived experience, and it was the most cathartic, healing experience that I had, and it was how I was able to move forward from what had happened. So then it became my passion to get involved in bringing out a service that does help people who are bereaved by suicide, because it's so important, it's so necessary that something like this exists. I think the future's very promising. I'm now doing something I'm so unbelievably passionate about. I think as a person, I've grown so much. I think that I'm a better mum, I'm a better friend. I'm now doing work for standby support, which is like amazing. Like, I love the work that I'm doing. I love that we're helping other people. I think life is going to be good. Yeah, I think life is going to be good.